Alright, so today we're doing another album review. The Black Keys actually just released their album Let's Rock today. I've been super excited. I've been looking forward to this album coming out for a long time. The Black Keys are they're a duo I think they're out of Ohio. They consist of Dan Auerbach and Patrick Carney, and I've always been a fan of this group because they take that bluesy rock feel and they're kind of keeping that alive with, I think today is full of a ton of like generic radio pop, and you really don't see too many of those bluesy rock bands really standing out anymore, aside from maybe like the White Stripes, but it's definitely like a breath of fresh air every time I hear them on the radio. So let's go right into the album. Let's start at the first song. Shine a Little Light. So this is the very first song off the album, and I think it really sets the tone for everything else that's gonna follow. You kind of have that signature fuzzy Black Keys guitar tone for the intro, but right when the verse hits, you have this very upbeat, groovy bass riff leading the charge along. The chorus is pretty fun. It's got these Americana style guitar riffs and some great catchy lyrics. Up next is Eagle Birds. This is, I believe, one of the songs they released, either the first or second they released before the album dropped. It's kind of like a single. There's this classic Black Keys guitar tone on it. I like the verse. It follows just a 12-bar blues progression, which always feels familiar and has like some movement to it. It kind of keeps the verses like fun and energetic. This one definitely has an absolute bluesy vibe here. Lots of pentatonic guitar riffs. It's got a fun walking bass line. So far, the first two songs have been great. Awesome way to start off the album, especially being titled Let's Rock. It's good to hear some rock music. All right, Low High. So this was my favorite song off the entire album, and you talk about a song that you can really just listen to while driving during the summer, you know, with the windows down, just having a good time. The intro riff on this song is so catchy, and the chorus is a lot of fun to listen to. The high harmonies on it really make it pop. And like I said, if there's any song you can listen to off of this album to kind of give it a chance, this would be it. So Walk Across Water, this is the first slower track on the album. The synth organ in the background really sets a chill, dreamy tone of the song, and the layers are just fantastic. There's some subtle oohs and ahs in the background of the verses that really give this like a laid back, like sitting, floating in pool, relaxing, sunny afternoon vibe. And we're also treated to a really nice guitar solo at the end of the song, which I love. Tell Me Lies. So this song relies really heavily on the vocals to carry the song, especially in the choruses. They have this cool ascending vocal guitar part that kind of gives it this real uplifting feeling to it. Overall, the guitar takes a bit of a backseat and really kind of sits in the pocket with the drums and just really lets the vocals kind of set the tone for this while it's kind of doing its thing in the background. Every Little Thing. So this one actually got a bit of like a Beatles vibe vocally in the verses, like complete with the harmonies and everything too. I like how the lead guitar kind of follows the vocal melodies during the choruses, and the choruses have a very major feel to them. This one has a more traditional rock guitar solo, which is great. Definitely a great song. Give this one a listen. Get Yourself Together. This one has a fun, bouncy bass line. Something you would see in a lot of like kind of older country music, like almost like the kind of like Root Fifth, you know, just kind of like bounce to it. Combine that with like the slide guitar, and this song really stands out as kind of a southern style sounding song. Vocally, the song doesn't really do much for me, but that's just my 2 cents on it. Each their own. Sit Around and Miss You. Again, this one's feeling like a very Beatles-esque vocal melody, which is a great compliment. Beatles are incredible. And I like how the verse feels really like upbeat and happy, but then it leans heavily on the minor keys during the chorus. It's like this really cool transition. I think gives it a neat contrast between the two and gives the song a little bit of like motion. I actually really dig the guitar solo in this song. The tone's fantastic, and it's got a minimalistic vibe going on, and it goes right into this fade out. Fits perfectly with what they're trying to do. The next song is Go, and I love the drums on this song. That double kick snare beat is definitely groovy. On the first verse, it's like really stripped down, and if you listen to it, you can hear the bass guitar real subtly sliding in, and then it hits full on with the chorus, which makes it feel massive. I love the dirty, chunky guitar riff, how it like brings the chorus in. The chorus is definitely a sing-along. The solo is one of my favorites. I love how right after the solo, we kind of have this like halftime breakdown, which goes right back into the chorus. Breaking Down. So this was one of the more interesting songs on the album, and I like how it starts with almost like a sitar sounding like intro. Almost, it feels like a very like kind of like spacey acid trip, but then it goes right in the other direction and then just has this bass groove driven rock verse with like these real steady drums. And vocally, this has to be one of my favorite songs on the album. Dan has such a great voice, which really fits this style of music. I love the guitar riff in the chorus, kind of almost taking the lead right when the chorus starts, and then when Dan's voice comes in after, they kind of like the two kind of mesh together. Again, the bass guitar really shines in this song. Even during the guitar solo, if you listen, the bass guitar is doing some fun stuff. The two-piece, it's drums, vocals, and guitar, but honestly, the bass guitar really impressed me on this too. I think they did a fantastic job. All right, so next we we have Under the Gun, and this one starts with a fun guitar progression, with like a solid quarter note bass groove sitting below it to really tie those big open guitar chords right in with the drums. And vocally the song, it's exactly what you would expect from the Black Keys. I didn't think there was anything new or crazy here. The chorus is kind of okay, and for me, it doesn't come to life right until the tail end of it. This one to me is kind of a filler song, not much here, but that's just my opinion. Fire, Walk With Me. Okay, so I love the intro riff. This one makes me feel like, it gives me a Johnny Cash vibe, especially with kind of like those low vocals in that pre-chorus and verse. The chorus itself is fun and dancey, and when the solo hits, you talk about a banger. I especially love how they end the last chorus with the kind of repeating that last tail section of it 3 times. And it goes in a not like a hard stop, but a pretty hard stop. Some of the drums ring out a little bit, but it's a great way to end an album called Let's Rock. Overall, I love this album. If you're a fan of the signature Black Keys vibe, this album is more of that. They don't really step out of the box too often, but I don't know if I'd call that a bad thing. When I listen to the Black Keys, I'm listening to them for a reason. They have that vibe, that crunchy guitar, those really smooth vocals in it. When I'm in a Black Keys mood, I want to listen to Black Keys, and this is more of that, which sounds great to me. I think they really nailed it with the album title. It's definitely an upbeat album, lots of guitar riffs. So my top tracks would be Low High, Breaking Down, and Go. I know 2 of those were the singles released before, but I think they did a really good job picking which singles they were gonna release. And I think those songs together really exemplify what's going on this album. All right, so that was Let's Rock by the Black Keys. Great album. If you guys liked it, please give me a thumbs up. Please give me a subscribe. If there's stuff you want to see me review, leave it in the comments. If there's things I can do better, let me know. I want to hear it, definitely. Thank you guys so much, and I'll catch you next week.